Yokozo everyone, thanks for coming back to your channel Zen Figure Reviews. I'm ultimately excited today to finally be able to show you the Alexander Nightmare frame from the anime movie trilogy AKITO the Exiled, an extraordinary OVA, and based off that design of course, this Nightmare frame by Robot Damashi is completely astounding. Now this box is a bit large, and the reason for that is that it's packed with tons of accessories. If you ever watched the OVA, you'll know that this Nightmare frame had so many gimmicks, gadgets, and weapons. So I really have to thank Robot Damashi for adding all of these accessories and that way allowing us all to recreate those awesome epic fight scenes from the anime. Let us start things off by reviewing the accessories, because boy, we have a lot to cover. So first off, we have the twin rapid fire rifles. They are colored in a gray metallic paint, and they also have two paint applications on the visors, green and red, a beautiful piece. Both of these rifles can be used with either the standard version of the Nightmare frame or in the spider form. Here we have a close-range combat melee weapon that's molded in a gray plastic. We get three different versions of these. One that's completely closed up, a second one which is at a mid-range level, and well, we get a final one that's with the spike completely out. And here we have the other one that has the spike completely out. All of these have the same color and well, they look pretty cool. This piece here, guys, is my favorite weapon of all. It is a metallic silver flaked blade that is supposed to come out of the Nightmare frame's wrist, but it may also have the appearance of a sword. Next up, we have one of the gripping hands that is meant to hold the twin rifles. We get two of these and they look awesome. It also comes with a set of two closed fists for each hand. This hand piece here is a special one because it's meant to be used with the blade of the Alexander. It is sort of like a closed fist, but as you can see, it's kind of pushed forward from the finger sides, so I guess it's pretty cool to have. Next up, we have one of the gripping hands that is meant to hold the twin rifles. We get two of these and they look awesome. Up next, we have the hands that are used for the spider form of the Nightmare frame. They are kind of spread out and look like mean savage claws, and well, that's savage. This is like the enraged form of the Alexander. So whenever Akito would somehow become possessed by the GEASS, he would somehow sink his Nightmare frame in some sort of supernatural way, and the mask of the Nightmare frame would kind of just like peel off, literally. So we're looking at like bare flesh here of the Nightmare frame, if we can call it that, of course. Now this face part here is meant for the spider form of the Nightmare frame. It's actually really cool, and although you may be able to pose it just fine with the normal standard version of the Nightmare frame, it's meant for the spider form. It gives it that, extra good looking spider face that it needs. Get these little two pieces, each one that says left and right. I really don't know what they're for yet. I'm hoping that before I end the review, I can manage to figure out what they're for. I saw a YouTuber review this Nightmare frame once, and I guess he really didn't find out where these things go either. And you do get these extra like ball joint connectors here. You get two of these, one for each socket, I guess. I'm not sure for what part of the Nightmare frame you would use this for, whether the arms or the legs, but you know, it's there. I don't really know what this is for. It seems, it would look like some sort of lock or a key is supposed to be inserted, but that's crazy because there's nothing there that would suggest that, but just the way I see things. And finally, guys, we're reaching about the end of the accessories. We've got this spider leg that's meant to be replaced with the Nightmare frame's standard version leg in order to have it get that spider crawler look. We also have these kind of like Dr. Octopus looking kind of things to hold the rifles when he's in his spider form, and then it kind of just allows him to carry them on his back. You get two of these, and you can see this should be the one for his right side, and we get another one for the left. And finally, guys, we get these extra, attachments that allow for movement. The way you see this, it kind of looks like a vertebrae of some sort, like kind of like a spinal cord, and it is flexible, so you can pose it if you like. And this is also used for the transformation, so you get some kind of like a very slight bend on each side. They work fine for what they're for. You'll see them later on. Here we have it, the main event, the Alexander Nightmare frame. First off, we can see in terms of paint, it has paint applications of red, gold, green, and black. That's all you're getting really, but there's nothing else you need. Most of the body of the Nightmare frame is already molded in a beautiful white plastic. Also, some of the extremities, hands, and also support system of the Nightmare frame is molded in a gray plastic, so no need for paint there, do we? Besides, look at the attention to detail, guys. They drew a gold dot here where you would not think to look. I mean, come on, they didn't have to do this, but just to show you how well and how beautiful the paint job on this thing is. It doesn't have too much, it doesn't have too little, it has the perfect amount of paint applications for it to outstandingly show off its aesthetic. Now, look at the glowing green eyes are beautiful. They are kind of like a emerald green, kind of a pearlescent. Pictures don't do these things justice. You would need to have one in your hand to be able to appreciate how beautiful this figure is. All right, guys, so let's move on to the articulation. First of all, the head is on a double ball joint, so you get that much movement back and you get that much movement forward. If you see here, this kind of like neck guard here doesn't allow it to go forward too much. It's better that it's there than if it wasn't, because then we'd get to see the whole ball joint, socket, and peg, and that wouldn't look too cool. So that's great they have it there. We don't really need much than that. I mean, you do have other movements at the bottom that will allow you to pose the head quite well without having, that crazy extreme ball joint head movement. But yes. Moving on, we have the torso, and this part here is on a double hinged kind of collapsing mechanism. I don't know how else to put it. When it's stretched out, as you can see, I'll try to do my best if you can catch that on camera, but you see that? It actually pushes in. That is quite, I've got no words to describe this. They didn't have to do this, but God, that's just awesome. So it pushes in, pushes out whenever you stretch it. It's so small, you just can't imagine how they went through the effort of doing that. And now you have this whole hip piece here is on a ball joint, so you get circular movement. Very nice, right, left, forward, back, and that's pretty much it. You don't need anything else, do we? Now you have these armor pieces here, kind of protecting the thighs of the Nightmare frame, and these are on a ball joint, so they are posable. You can kind of, move them out of your way when you're trying to get these legs into different poses. Same goes for the left side, and well, that's it for these things here. On the legs, we have double hinged knees. Alright, so before you make it all the way to the back, you actually kind of get a stop from the calf, and there you see it crashes into the joint mechanism for where the hinge is. So that's all you're getting in terms of back range. You don't need anything else, believe me, it's more than enough. And well, let's go to the feet. You have a kind of this ankle guard. This ankle guard is, believe it or not, on a ball joint. So even though you hardly get any movement out of it, you can pose it up or down. I think it's best bet to move it up or down, but you can move it a little bit side to side, as you can see. Now for the feet is on a standard hinge. You do get kind of like a back movement here from the ankle. The toe hinge is also there, and there we go. You can't go down like that, but that just looks silly, so not necessary to do that at all. And well, we have the land spinners, and as I explained it in my previous video, the Britannians and the Europia Nightmare frames have these things hanging on the side. So they're always out there, but they are posable. So you get that kind of side to side, and you get the regular up and down. You do get 360 degrees if you want. It's completely unnecessary though that you do that, because it's, well, just, I mean, there's no point in doing that. And the spinners are so great. This is rubber, guys. It's a real wheel, and not only do they look awesome, but they spin quite well. So the same articulation you see in his right leg, same one you get for his left. So let's go on to the arms. Now, the arms also have these, I've seen this type of movement be used for different Nightmare frames, and these are like shoulder guards, and well, they also move up and down. They are on a ball joint, believe it or not. If you can see in there, it is a ball joint, and you're able to move them just up and down, and yes, you get side to side, so that's pretty cool. You have the whole arm on a single hinge. We have a single hinged elbow, but you get enough range there. You don't need anything else. And if I was showing you, when I was showing off the accessories, you remember I showed you we have the completely closed melee weapon, halfway or mid-range, and then we have the fully extended spike melee weapon. So these are actually detachable, and you can attach any other ones here. And yes, like I said, you have that to be able to have the gripping hands hold these weapons. Same thing for the left hand here. Okay guys, so as I was saying, you have the hand on a ball joint. Both of these hands are on ball joints, and they move pretty well. You get all the range you need for them to be able to grip the weapons, and also be able to use the closed fists as posable option. Here on the back, we have the cockpit. Now the cockpit has this W-013, which is the number, I think, for the squadron, I guess you can call it. I think they were called the Wyvern Squadron. And it has the logo for the United Europia, I guess, military insignia. But you've got a bit of red paint applications there. Like I said, you don't get much more than red, black, and some gold. That's all you're really getting for paint on this figure. It doesn't need it, really, it doesn't need it. You have this posable kind of like a lower back guard, and it is on a ball joint, so you are able to move that side to side, up and down. So it is there to look cool. It doesn't really serve a purpose, and it may get in your way sometimes for doing some of the poses. On the back, as you can see, this thing is just loaded with detail, all over the place, and it's a very, very nice way to to actually blend in all of the articulation it has, because believe it or not, guys, this thing is quite the articulated figure. Alright, so we have the bottom of the feet there. Again, they are also molded at the bottom. They're pretty nice. Alright guys, so I guess that's it for the articulation. Like I said, here I'll just give you another quick view here, how you can push this in and it pushes out. Very nice, right? Now, the Nightmare frame will allow you to see it in all of its glory. Let's move on to some posing. And again, I'll go back just to show you where the things for the transformation go. I actually found where they go, so if you have one of these and haven't found out where they go, you'll want to stay tuned. You'll find out where everything that this comes with is supposed to be placed. Alright guys, so let's get to some posing. Just before we move on to the transformation, let me remind you that this figure is a parts former. But that's okay because it's not a transformer. So without further delays, let's get to it, guys. So the first thing that you need to do for the transformation is pull the neck out. Just like that. So there and there. For the next part of the transformation, you need to flip around the legs like that. Very simple, just flip them to the other side, just like that. So once you've pulled the neck out and flipped over the legs, then we have to pull the cockpit back. Just like that, simple and easy. So, just to give everyone a really quick recap, what we've done, we've pulled the neck up, we've pushed the head forward, we've went ahead and flipped the legs to make them look to the other side, and we've pulled the cockpit back. So far, that's where we're at. Now, for the next part of the transformation, all you have to do is pull out one of the legs from the, I guess, where the knee connects to the thigh. And what you're going to do is you're just going to pop it out. And there we go. You have the leg. So this part here is going to detach from the ankle of this one, and we're going to pass it over to the leg for the spider form. So we've got the spider leg here, and we're going to just stick it on to this one. So here you have it. And easy as that. There you go. All right, so now basically you're going to take this peg here and you're going to insert it into this thigh here. It's not so hard to push in. And there we go. All right, so we've got one down. We just need to, do the other one. I'll be back when it's done. So now that I've finished putting on both of these spider legs, we can take a look at the articulation. We don't have too much, really. All you get is the hinge at the knee and a hinge at the ankle. Other than that, we lose the toe hinge we used to have on the normal Nightmare frame, but I guess it's part of how the spider is supposed to look. We do get the same articulation for the land spinner though. Okay, so once you've switched out the legs, now you can move on to the arms. Now, the arms, all you need to do, I'd recommend you taking off the hand because it may fall off anyway. You're going to deattach it from the elbow and there you go. So now you're going to take these two pieces and you're going to join them with this ball peg, just like that. Now you have this vertebrated forearm and the claw hand united. So this groove here is going to allow the connection with this part here. So all you have to do now is just attach the forearm to the elbow joint or hinge. Okay, so there we go. So now the forearm is connected to the elbow and the rest of the arm. So let's do the other side. Okay guys, so now that we've switched out both arms and both legs, we have to go to the cockpit. And here at the cockpit, as you can see, I've already taken it out. It's not hard. Probably the easiest thing I've done so far is removing this kind of side panel. And all you do really is just, as you can see, it fits on there just like that. And you pull it from the top because it has a kind of a part of the plastic is still overlapping, so you can just easily do that. And I'll show you what you do next. So what you have to do next is take this octopus looking hand and you have to just, well, put it in there. Just pop it right in. Okay, so now we've got it connected. So the next thing you do, you take the corresponding plastic piece here, and as you can see, it says L for left, so you have to just fit it in here, like so. All right, so once you've got it in there, you can go to the next side, right? But there's something I wanted to point out. As you can see, this is not completely asymmetrical. So you're going to have to choose the more kind of higher side that's directing towards the front. That's the way you have to place it, not the other way around, because it will go the other way around, but this is the way you have to do it. Okay, so now I've finished putting on both sides, and it was rather simple once you get the hang of it, but all right, so what's next? Now you can take the rifles and you can attach them onto these things here. Now you don't want to kind of do it like that. What you want to do is just kind of do it from the top and bring it down, and it just fits right in there. You see that? I'll flip it over, give you another view, and well, there it is, guys. All right, so here you have it, guys. The twin rifles all set and ready to fire. I'll show you some pictures now of the figure posing in its spider form. Hope you enjoy. Okay, and before I go on to the pictures, I just wanted to show you how it looks. And I did end up having to just kind of pull the torsos back a bit to have it, you know, have this look. But it's quite easy. It's, you know, just common sense. You'll be able to pull it off. All right, guys, so here it is. It's pretty damn cool all over. So now I can go on to the posing. Guys, and this here's something a little extra I wanted to show you. You do have the option to take off one of the arms, and since the shoulder guard is also on a ball peg, you can just replace the full arm and put it on that peg instead, and then just place the shoulder on top of that one. I guess this would look sick if you have 2 of these Nightmare frames and were to pull out 2 of the other arms from the other Nightmare frame and put them onto this one. It would have 4 arms instead of 1, so that's pretty sick. Okay, so you remember at the beginning of the video I mentioned that there were these 2 little small gray pegs that I really didn't know where they would go. Well, it turns out they're actually meant for the leg. And just as the arm, you have the option to remove the thigh guards and replace these pegs in order to be able to put another leg on top of it. So you remove this, remember, guard that we had before, and then we replace it with the peg, allowing us to then place the leg. So what you do is you take the leg and you just stick it on to the... So here you go, guys. It's like I have a tarantula in my hand. You've got 2 of the legs on one side, 2 of the arms on the other. And if you were to have another Nightmare frame of these, you could actually have a total of 4 legs and 4 arms, making it a total of 8 extremities. And well, you're practically making a real spider there. So that's pretty awesome. If you have another one, well, now you know you have the option. So guys, going back to this piece here, it's actually meant to be used with the extra accessory ball pegs you get for the legs. Now what you do is you insert it into here, and then you kind of lock it down into place. And once you've locked it down into place, you can just pull it out. Easy as that. Well guys, we've reached the end of our video review today. I hope I was able to provide you with some helpful insight on this figure if you were planning on getting it. I definitely have to recommend it. This is a remarkable figure all around. It has plentiful articulation, vast accessories, paint applications are great, accuracy to the anime design is on the spot, everything about it is just awesome. So if you get a chance to pick it up still at a decent price, don't think twice and go for it. Remember guys, buy what you love, not what's in style. Sayonara. See you next time in the next Zen Figure Reviews. Click like if you liked the video and don't forget to subscribe. Take care. 走り回って探しても見つからない真実と嘘の狭間に落ちているのかな